3, 2, and 1.
Welcome back to another episode of Love, Learn, and Reflect. Welcome to the living room, if you will.
Our spot.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Jackie.
And here we are once again to let you in on our little space. In our little space.
In our business.
Whatever.
It's been a few months, so welcome.
Hey, Ben, you always talking about it's been a few months.
Babe, it's been almost a year, so I'm just saying like a few months.
A few months since what?
Since we started.
Oh, I thought you was talking about since we did a video. I was like, this way you crazy.
See, he's been getting on my nerves all day.
No, she been getting on my nerves.
We've been bickering today, so this is going to be a good conversation. I'm
it
ready.
Ain't. No, it ain't.
I'm ready.
No, it ain't. It's going to be whack. No, I'm just
Okay.
playing. So, man, please, at the end of the video, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Send us your concerns, your likes, your dislikes, what we want to talk about.
Be vocal.
Yeah,
we appreciate those comments.
Listen, and let me say this. We are those type of people, like, we do take constructive criticism well. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where if we need to change something up and it's conducive and works for us, we'll do it. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely like pointers and tips and all that good stuff. But anyway, fellas, I got a question for you. How do you feel if the woman is labeled the head of the household? How do you feel if the woman makes more money than you? How do you feel? What?
I'm saying okay. I'm just thinking of what you were saying. What you were saying, and I'm like, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I want to know how a man feels if the woman is considered the head of the household.
So we're gonna ask how you feel, and so it should be an opposite question to me. How do I feel as feeling as if I'm the head of the household, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Or having a man that's not in position to be called the head of the household.
Right.
Right.
So when you say in position, what do you mean by that?
Well, you would think, I don't know, like most people think like the man should be able to take care of all of these things. Like I shouldn't have any concerns about bills. Shouldn't have any concerns about I don't know, my well-being, all the things you see televised from growing up to now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
In my mind, I would think he would have to be like educated enough in finances. He should be stable enough in his own well-being, things like that, to be able to like lead the family to be considered the head.
So when we first met, how did you see me as? Well, I guess when we first got married, how did you see me as a man?
When we first got married, I seen you as my man, but I seen you as a what was I going to say? Liability. That's not the word. I think that's just a word I've been using in insurance lately. I seen you as.
By the way, if you don't have insurance, get yours today.
Good plug, babe. I seen you as a concern. I guess I could say.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
Elaborate. Tell me what was it that concerned you?
I didn't feel stable in it at all. And so being with you in the early times of the marriage, before we made a decision, to stabilize everything, like I didn't feel stable enough to be able to even relinquish anything to you to be considered the head of the family. Like it wasn't like I wouldn't have been comfortable with saying, or if you saying like I'm about to take care of everything. No.
Right.
I wouldn't have felt comfortable with it. And I wouldn't have allowed it either.
So then you felt that you were the head of the house.
Yes.
Okay.
But not willingly, and not that I wanted to be.
Right.
And nor do I want to be now. It's just that there were things that you weren't trained on or knew that I knew of that I had to that I was willing to be able to take care of to sustain us,
Right.
to keep us above water.
Right.
And so
because I mean, and I don't mean to cut you off. Yeah, I was not. I felt like I was ready to be a husband mentally, but let me say, I felt like I was ready to be a husband, but I didn't know how to be a husband. I didn't know what the responsibilities of a husband, and therefore I still was single-minded. I still was, lax or not lax, but careless with my finances, spending, who I was as a person, all that. Did I love you? Yes. Did I care for you? Yes. Did I do what I for the kids? Yes. Was I being a provider? Yes. I'll say partially, because I was being careless with the finances.
Right, like you was putting in what you could put in.
Right.
Yeah, you was putting in what you put in.
Right.
What was I gonna say? But you still had shortfalls.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's what I was thinking the whole time. But as women, as a woman, like it made me feel like I shouldn't have to do. Remember how I told you, like I was like I could, like I could have did this on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could have been struggling on my own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I get with you and expecting like a head, a leader, somebody to be able to take care of me, in which you take care of me. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like everything that I didn't have prior to like being the way that you love me, the way that you showed me that you cared about me, all of those things overshadowed like your shortfalls.
Yeah.
But the shortfalls still were
heavy,
present, and so I would
Yeah.
easily like push them back. But then there was always things that magnified them.
Right.
Outside of like how caring and things that you are. But then outside of that, there was always like these things that just had to be addressed that wasn't. And so it made it where like I was forced to be I felt as if I was forced to be in a head position when I didn't want to be, which is in my mind like why I wanted to get married.
Right.
Right. And that's not why I wanted to get married, but it's why, it's a bonus.
But here's the thing, or here's the issue. Mm-hmm. One, like you said earlier, I had no training. I had really no solid example. I had Bishop Vaughn. I watched them a little bit. But at that time I wasn't really trying to mimic them or mimic that in a sense, if that makes sense.
Well, you weren't in their household.
Yeah, I wasn't.
How they handle their money, because they could be trash at it.
Right. And that's the thing. Like I was never trained. I had this image, or I had this vision of what the head of the house should look like. I've always heard the man should be the head. Right. I've always heard that, rest his soul, like my window, like Pops, he didn't, like, that wasn't an example for me to follow. Right. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And it was crazy because I remember I was like, and I wrote it down, and I was like, man, I'm gonna be this, I'm not gonna be that, I'm not gonna hit women, I'm not gonna this, I'm not, and I've had that whole picture, I had it all together. But when you don't have the proper counseling, when you don't have the proper, like, that's why you shouldn't, like, young people now, or even people that are in the middle of an engagement or even in the middle of a marriage, I believe, especially if you haven't been taught or how to be a husband or how to be the head, whether you make more money than your spouse or not, I think there is a level of training or counseling that I believe that people, or I'll just say men, should go through. Now the issue is men sometimes are prideful and don't want to go to counseling because they feel like it's not for them. You know what I'm saying? Now, you and I didn't present that to each other. We was just like, nah, you love me, I love you, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? But I believe, I stayed in that mode, like being a player, being single-minded. I stayed in that mindset because I didn't have that example. You know what I'm saying? Because and I say being a player because when you live in single minded, everything doesn't come to center to monogamy. You know does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
So your focus is off.
Your focus is off, and it's not like I'm all into you. I mean I was, but you know what I'm saying. But I think it's always a level of training and a level of stability that you need to make sure you have for you. Because I'll tell you one thing, if your woman does not feel or have the stability mentally and physically, it's going to always be an issue.
Hold on, mentally and physically in herself or in you?
In me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're talking about. If your woman doesn't have the mental and physical stability, she's gonna be lost. You're gonna lose her in so many different ways. And some of the stuff you say, it can be great. Some of the stuff you may even do. Some of the things you say, you may even go through with. But in her mind, that it's gonna be so shaky if she's not feeling stable, if she's not feeling secure,
right,
in your abilities. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, if that doesn't happen, then it's lost. Period.
Right. It messes with the trust value.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the other word.
It messes with right. And if I have to admit, like, that is so. Like, I have to make sure that I'm always like putting extra money up. You know what I'm saying? I was always putting extra money up. I was always doing these things to make sure that you're dang, this gonna get short. Like, you're short. Whatever you came up short, I always had a means to be able to cover. You know what I'm saying? So then it always made it as if I was still in a better position than you, but it was because I was always preparing for the worst.
Well, I think some of the shortcomings, I think financially was more so, the child support, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I don't think, me personally, and please speak on it I don't think you can consider that as a shortcoming or a fault of mine. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always wanted to make sure I had a second job to do so. You know what I'm saying? But even then, I still probably wasn't doing right with the finances until I turned them over to you. So never mind.
Anyways, so how does it make you feel when I'm in I don't know, like, as a woman that might come off as a head?
Well, first off,
when you see like, I don't know, like, I know what you're gonna say. Like, you, first off, you're not the head, or I'm not the head, or whatever. Right. I'm not saying that, but when it comes off as such in society, as such, like, how does that make you feel?
Well, society don't know the dynamic of how we live. So if I didn't come out and say hey, because this is my phrase. Let me talk to the boss lady. Let me talk to the banker. That's my thing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if I didn't say those things, nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
But how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel some type of way when you have to come and say that I have to talk to the banker, or I have to talk to the finance lady, or
no,
something like that? Does
because
it make
no,
you feel some type of
no.
way?
Only I say that only because I mean I know I've gotten better. I know I can do it, but then I was more so like I don't want to screw up the finances, being careless and thinking I got this under control and I don't. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm more comfortable even in it now.
Mhm.
Like even I've never I don't think I would ever come to you and be like, nah, man, I need to take over the finances unless I see or know you're doing something irresponsible,
Right.
which you know I hope that don't happen. Ouch.
Knocked on the wrong wood.
Yeah, which I hope that doesn't happen. But for me, I just knew I was careless with money, and again, like I said, I've gotten better. However, I'm not in the position, or I'm not in the mental state of like, man, she got all the money. No, if I thought like that, we would have a lot. Yes, not even in the same place. I think we will argue more about that because I would bring it up and for what? And this is the one thing that I appreciate about us. We draw off each other's strengths, and again, I always say, and I told you from the beginning. I won't say from the beginning. I say around about year 3, it's like, man, where I lack, you make up, and vice versa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of how our dynamic is. Um, I like I don't think I would ever just kind of be like now. Well, like for me, I see everything just moving smoothly. Like we ain't had nothing cut off. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? Thank God for that. But I don't need to interrupt that dynamic when it comes to that part. So
So in your mind, it's going well. No need to change anything.
yeah, for what? Because and this is another thing. I believe women, even like I said, if they're making more money or not, I think the woman sometimes needs to, again, one, I don't want to. I guess come to the man and say, hey, you know, let me just speak for us. I appreciate the fact that you come to me and say, hey, babe, what should we do about this? Or uh, uh, what do you think it is? Or I'll either say, yeah, we're gonna do that. No, we're not gonna do that. Or what do you think? And then either that, or you gonna tell me about this. Well, you gonna tell me about it in any other scenarios first off. But I'm just saying, like I'm just saying. But for me, it's one of those things where I appreciate that. Like you, some people, some women probably don't even do that, whether they make more money or not. It's just and it can always cause an issue within the marriage. You know what I'm saying? So
one thing I think about is when like we have conversations with people and like their spouses and things like that. Like one of the biggest complaints that I've heard is uh like the man want to be called to lead, but he don't know how to even do XYZ,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I do remember like having that feeling honestly, and then also having a feeling of like my children are not going to be like this. Like I'm going to raise my boys to know how to do all of this, make sure all of these things are in line so that their wife don't have to go through the same thing that I went through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think there is like a gap. I don't know if men just don't understand the importance of being prepared, and then they like jump in a relationship and they're okay with the woman being able to take care of everything, or but then also wants to be like considered the head and have like the power role, or what. I'm just saying like off of like all of these different conversations, my feelings, other women's issues and things like that. Like, because it seems as if most men did not have any type of training and upbringing, that then when they come into this relationship, like the woman has to take over that whole load because of your lack of education in anything.
But here's the thing. Since 1973,
what happened in 73?
Since 1973, and it probably, this is just kind of what I know, the statistic, the statistic of the lack of the male dominant father figure in the house was like 50 something or more percent. I want to say it was like 63%.
So you're saying a lot of men were in the household?
No, a lot of men wasn't.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. Like,
yeah, a lot of men. Like, I think it was like 73 or it was between. It was high. Mm-hmm. 1973, 75, somewhere in there. That's when the dynamic of the male in the household kind of shifted. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of that. Everything I did or everything I was shown was a woman. Like, Pop taught me how to fish, and this is one thing, that I always, like, I wanted to know about cars. I wanted to know how to put up, and I didn't know a lot of that stuff until I met your dad. Learn how to do at least some kind of sheetrock or something. I didn't know how to do none of that until your dad came in my life. You know what I'm saying? But the dynamic is there has been no father figure for the most part in a lot of these guys' lives, even me.
But that's what I'm saying, like an educated father figure to teach you like more than basketball. Like, everybody want to teach their kids about a sport, but what about being like prepared for their future and for their future with their family? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's almost like that part is not important. Like, we want everybody to reach for the same goal, which is some type of sport, but past that, it's like anything else is like,
But you got to understand, but I understand that, but you got to understand there is a teaching and learning tool within the sport.
When are y'all sitting down talking about banking and finances and interest and all of that stuff?
Because you tell them you don't want to spend all your money on Gatorade.
Ain't nobody telling them. You're sitting up there blowing money, and then when they get money, then all of a sudden they have no money because there was no even a minuscule amount of financial training from the household or in the world, in schooling, anywhere that they received. And so then you jump into a relationship, and here we are. I'm the woman. At least I don't know what it is, the difference between men and women, but it almost seems as if like we're more apt to be able to, I guess once we have children, most women are like I got to get this together, right? And then the men are still living single-minded and happy and just like, and then what am I going to do when I have a man in the house? I'm still going to take care of you. I'm still going to feed you. I'm going to do, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do everything I can just to keep you here. And even if it's a struggle having you here. Does that make sense? Like, I'm still going to have you. I'm still going to keep you here, even though I know, like, I'm in my mind, like, I'm wishing that you were be able to help me more.
Right.
Like, I wish you could help me more, but I'm going to keep you here because I want you here, but I wish that I can have you here and be able to legitimately help me in these situations. But what you brought into this relationship or marriage was a struggle for us. Before you get in a relationship, you really should consider being stable in as many ways as possible. Right? So when you get into a relationship, your burdens are not put on that other person. But in most cases, it seems as if those burdens are put on the other person. Like, you weren't ready because you were still like, you want to be in the world, right? You want to still be partying or whatever. Or you weren't ready because you done messed up your credit so bad, but you still want to be with this person. And then guess what? Your credit's messed up, which now we can't really get nothing together because all that time that you weren't worried about yourself, now you bringing it to me, and now we can't get nowhere for the next 10 years because we got to fix your problems, right? Like all of that is stuff that it's almost as if women take on more of that hardship. Just from what I've seen, we take on more of that hardship, and then we're trying to uplift the male to be able to get it together so we can feel comfortable in him actually being the lead. Because if I had to say, I would prefer not to be in like a position of doing what I do, but I do it because I know it's best for us and it works for us. But if I had a choice, and I was in you and you were able to do what I do, I would enjoy that peace of mind of just being able to relinquish it to you and like, I ain't got to worry about nothing.
I mean, my thing, and here's the thing, like, for real, if I wanted to, I could do it. But I just feel more comfortable with you doing it. Like, as far as money, anything with money, if it's you, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out.
I thank you for that.
Knock yourself out. Anything else, listen. Here's the thing about your husband, and I'm pretty sure you already know this. I can do anything I set my mind to, period. Anything. If I wanted to be a doctor, I could do that. Anything. But for me, it's just certain things that I don't want to do. And one thing that I admire about you is, and even if it's a headache, you let me be in that space. Now, if there's something that you are wanting me to change, let's have a conversation about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like something else as far as this household and all that kind of stuff, well, let me know. We talk about everything, really. So let's talk about it. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of where I am with this whole thing. It seemed like we got way off topic, but for me, it's like let's do it. Like I definitely want to make sure. My biggest thing is I don't want you to feel any extra pressure or stress than you have to. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think you do that now just because of where you trying to go in the company, you know, or in our business that you've beautifully set up for us. But I just think that, you know, I don't even want to call it pressure, maybe not, but I think that's where, you know, any other added things, like we talked about it before. Hey, you want me to cook more? Let's do it. If you want me, you know, say it. Don't just be like, I like doing it. Don't do that. Just say, babe, hey, I got a meeting at 7. Why don't you go in there and cook something? I'm gonna whip up some
noodles.
Nah. I go whip up some shrimp scampi and some pasta. Girl, I got skills. You just, hey.
I ain't never seen you make up no shrimp scampi.
Cause you ain't never
asked. Or no pasta.
You ain't never asked.
I ain't gotta ask. How about let's not ask? Why would I have to ask?
Girl, I cook for you downstairs. Girl, don't play with me. Don't play with me.
How many times have you cooked?
I don't know. It ain't been a lot.
We've been married 10 years, and it's been less than 10.
I know.
I thought you was about to say, like, no, girl, it's been more than that.
Nah.
No, it's been less than 10.
No. You want me to cook more?
No.
Do you want me to cook more?
No, because you can't cook.
I can too.
Jones, you can't cook.
No, you think I can't cook.
No, I know you can't.
Do we? I could. Well,
you can't even, babe.
What?
Babe, You can't even watch over a food that I tell you to watch over, and
That's
burn.
because I got distracted. Because I was watching TV.
So you can't cook.
I can,
the person
dude.
that's cooking wouldn't get distracted.
I can cook.
No.
Yes,
I
can.
No,
I
you
really. You can't cook.
Babe, when you boil water, how long does that water boil before you got to put water back in the pot?
What do I be doing?
Not paying attention, so you can't cook.
I be doing everything
so you don't know how to cook.
I do,
no,
bro.
The person that know how to cook know how to stay focused in the kitchen.
I'm about to show this one.
Please show me something.
We can ask anybody in my family if I can cook.
And they would say no. They say cook what?
Okay.
Cook what? What's your favorite dish?
Don't worry about it.
That's because you ain't got one. If you had a favorite dish that you might
cook,
you'd be like, you could have easily
I'ma
said
show
chicken.
you.
You could have easily
for
said
what?
chicken.
I'ma show you.
That would have been the easy, like chicken, and I would have lost. But you don't know how to cook.
I do.
How do you fry chicken?
Duh. You season it.
With what?
Seasoning salt. You put whatever. You can put all that stuff, whatever you want. You put it in some flour. You boil your stuff.
Boil it.
You boil your grease.
You boil it.
Man, whatever. You know what? I ain't got time for this. Hey, I know I can cook, but anyway, she going way out.
He boiling grease. That means he don't know how to cook.
I'll walk off this set. Girl, I can cook. You fry. You don't fry grease.
You heat it up.
It doesn't matter.
You ain't boiling it, that's for
Man,
sure.
let
Because
me
guess
tell
what?
you
If you
something.
boiling it, it's gonna get so hot and it's gonna burn the grease.
Just because the terminology I use does not mean that you use that I don't know how to cook chicken. I know how to cook chicken, macaroni.
Boil this grease.
Man, sit down, man.
You don't know how to cook, babe. You boiling grease.
Anyway, this is the problem when a woman thinks she's the head of the household. She thinks she can do everything, and I can't. That's her problem.
You can prove that to me. I would love for you to prove that.
I've been trying to tell you I was going to prove you, but you act like you want to be up here stunting.
On February 13th, we are having a Valentine's dinner where anybody can join via Zoom, and where the couples, one couple, is it one person of the couple, cooks the meal,
both
right?
people are cooking.
We cook together?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we cook together. Would you like to take the task of cooking?
I wouldn't mind it.
Oh, well, I'm be ready to eat.
Man.
I will be ready to eat.
I'm going to have to find out.
Meatballs. Anybody can do that. Put it in the oven with some barbecue sauce.
This one is crazy. I can barbecue. I know how to make spaghetti. I know how to make chicken. I know how to make shrimp scampi with pasta. I know how to make Alfredo. I know how to do all that. But you know what? I don't do that because she like to cook and she get me out the kitchen.
Babe, I would love for you to start cooking one night a week.
Say no more.
We gonna starve.
Done.
We gonna starve. He gonna go buy some meat.
See the face she got in your boy though? Alright.
See,
let me tell you something, fellas.
And I ain't eating meat, so what you gonna cook me?
See, this is the thing, fellas. See, your woman supposed to build you up, not tear you down.
I'm telling you the truth about yourself, and a man needs to recognize the truth.
Terrible.
I think so too.
Ooh, I can't wait till this next video. It's gonna be talking about your help mate, wife, spouse, helping, lifting.
We can talk about it now.
Nah, man. Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's basically the same thing that we talking about now.
No, it ain't.
Yes,
This is a different video. We gonna be doing something different because I got some other stuff to talk about in that.
What was our topic?
I don't
We
even
can
remember.
totally went off.
Yeah, because of you.
Women thinking they the head or something. I'm a head of the kitchen. Tell you that.
Yeah, you are.
I can tell you that. And he's not.
Relinquished.
Anyways, back on topic. So head of the household, women expect more, and I don't think we really want that job. We really want a man to actually come in and actually, so we can have like that bragging rights. So we can like have like those bragging rights. And I think the man really would appreciate if the woman were more, that sounds terrible. I was gonna say like more domestic. Like more what's the word? Would you appreciate, well, forget it. Like, would you appreciate me to be any different than what I am? That's a dumb question, but would you like me to like not be so headish? Headish?
You headish in your own right.
No,
I don't listen to you when it comes to that stuff.
I was trying to. Sorry for whispering. Anyway.
I don't know what just happened.
But I'm not trying to be, I don't want to be headish, as you say. I really don't. I wish it was different. I wish it could be different, but I don't, because I know.
Well, what are you tripping for?
I'm not tripping. I'm
so
just
why
telling
would
you, and I'm just telling you, like at a time, there was a time that I wished that it was different. Like I guess it wouldn't have taken us through all of what we went through if you were properly prepared before we got into the relationship. But I mean, everybody has their imperfections, and that's fine. Like, you're not looking for, like, you might miss out on the best thing God's given you if I would have gauged you off of how you handle your finances, right? So if I would have gauged you off of that, I would have missed the best thing God's ever offered me. Like, so I would have missed my gift. So you can't, but you know, nobody's perfect.
No.
Nobody's perfect.
Again, and I think in every conclusion of our video, it's gonna in our sessions or talk sessions, whatever you want to call it, it's always gonna come down and boil down to the things, communication, and being able to talk to your spouse about everything. Like I struggle with that. I you know what I'm saying, especially in the beginning. Like I had so many flaws when it came to being in a relationship because I didn't know how, right? I didn't have that know-how to all the stuff that I learned when it came to that. It came over the years and through our experiences and through our shortcomings, and most of them were mine. You know what I'm saying? Because I did not want, because sometimes I didn't even want to, as a man, like mentally grow up when it came to that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was always, call my grandmother. You know, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't do that. I couldn't call on nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn and grow up like real fast. Because I always will tell you, when I heard that D word, I was like, Corvette, do a 180, man. Or you screwed, pal.
I'm out.
You know, because I mean, again, I prayed for you. I prayed for you. And he gave you to me, and I could have squandered it by being foolish. First and foremost, I did not have Christ as my head at that time. So I know I was failing anyway. Period. There was no way I was not gonna be successful in my marriage, work, with my kids without Christ. Yeah. I don't care what nobody say. And once I fully committed that and dedicated that to him and to you guys, and gave I relinquished everything. I surrendered and gave it to him. And man, ever since then, our life has been
It has been.
a
And you
blessing.
say that every time you mention that, you're absolutely right. Like, our that day, it was almost everything just kind of manifest, and it just,
It
and
was
we have been
crazy.
blessed ever since.
Ever since.
Ever
It
since
was
that.
crazy.
Yeah, we've been blessed ever
Crazy.
since you made that decision. There was a lot of conversations and talks about it and stuff like that, and then it just took that gathering, and like just made the decision finally, and it just proved to work. It proved what I was trying to explain, that it was gonna work, and and then even when we started, like started in it, like we still had like struggles with with getting it right. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like switching it over to me, and then my control issues over it all and stuff like that. Like it took a minute to get to a point where we got it right. But I think we made a good decision on the roles that we play, and not to say in our to um, go full circle on basically the conversation. Like there's like no proper roles in our relationship or marriage. We all do something different, but what we do is just for the betterment of our family.
Yes.
So um, I think the decision that we make for our household is just best for us, and you have to make that decision for your household as well. And you just gotta know, like, that head over the household and all that stuff is just talk. If you just be a supportive husband and wife, then you can get through it. Because if we was fighting over heads and stuff like that, then we would be in a terrible situation. We're always fighting for position instead of fighting to be together. If that makes sense. You
No,
look like you thinking. It didn't
no, it
make
don't
sense,
make
baby.
sense.
What was wrong?
Because I'm Big Daddy in this house. I'm just letting you know. You can say all that bull jive you want. I'm King
Babe.
Kong. Huh? Oh, you already knew that?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. What she said is right.
Oh, like, what? I know what you are.
I know. I'm just teasing,
I know.
but in every relationship, every situation, I look at this even globally, right? I look at everything we all do. We have a role.
Oh yeah, and everything.
Everything.
Involved in, yeah.
Whether it's at work, you have a role. Home, uh, heck, when you go into the store buying something, it's a role, and it all plays into what it is, this life, or what we call this world, or this game we call life. That's how it moves. You know what I'm saying? And it's really no different in marriage with with your spouse. Is that you have to know your role. Period. You can't.
And is it okay for roles to shift?
Easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Easy.
I was just wondering, so people don't have to be sticklers on, like, this is who I am, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to live by whatever standards were created by the world. You just got to live by
Pride.
what's best for your house.
Pride and ego must go.
Right.
Pride and ego must go.
Because it sure will kill everything.
You'll find yourself in divorce court real fast. Real fast.
You don't want to go there. We're not promoting all that.
Nah.
We trying to promote y'all to be able to have a conversation. When we talk to y'all, like, we really have, this is like a legit, at the moment, conversation, not planned. So when, like we said, like, we provide like a soft counseling. We're not professionals, don't expect professionalism as in certificates and things, but what we are doing is like providing a soft counsel via our personal experiences. And so through our personal experience, we hope that, like, you capture something as part of our conversation that you either agree or don't agree with, but that you can change and apply in your own household for the betterment of your relationship, your marriage. So I hope that everybody gets an understanding of what we're doing and why we're doing it, because we really want you guys to look over at us, and then make a decision off of what we say or our experience to better your marriage.
Because I mean, and to be all honesty, pretty much everything we've talked about, we've actually been through it.
Oh, everything we talked about, we actually been through.
Oh well, everything we talked about, we've actually been through it. Everything. So it's not something that we're just you know, like she said, just coming. I mean, this is something we've been through. We lived. We've communicated. As you can see, the video previously was the many C's of marriage. Like we literally lived and communicated and talked through all these things to kind of get where we are, you know. So anyway,
yeah, because we could probably keep
going on for days. So man, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate the love. Continue to support us. Continue to give us your feedback. Continue to be a blessing to us. You know, we got a lot of different things in the works. You know, we're definitely a lot of different things that we're praying for. You know, our own channel, being on TV, our business, you know, definitely growing. Thanks to Babe, man. I'm grateful. Shout out to Team LL&R and Team Primetime, definitely growing. So man, and we just put it like this. Just pray for us, pray for our strength, that we grow into, you know, what it is that we're trying to grow into. Genuine prayers. You don't do that. Oh, I got you, and be like, oh, they ain't gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying? So genuine prayers, man. So anyway, we appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and if you need life insurance, if you want to join the team, if you want to have your own business, you know, hit us up, man. You'll definitely be blessed, man. She is doing amazing things. I will be on the way. I'm just taking a little bit longer than she is. But hey, she's doing a phenomenal job. So if you want to join the team and be a part of a dynamic team, come holler at us.
Team LL&R, hey y'all.
Rock it out.
Let's go.
So with that being said, LL&R out. Peace.